you do not get style points. Like people were complaining on Saturday night about Tennessee running up the score in Missouri, and they had to run up the score. They're trying to get into the playoffs, right? It makes sense in college football for Michigan, for Ohio State, for some of these teams to run up the score, especially now that we had some losses the other night. That's going to fucking open this thing up. Like winning a game 50-20 instead of winning a game 30-20 is important. There is one sport that it does not matter one iota, and that is the NFL. Like in college, it matters. Maybe even in high school, it matters. In the NFL, it does not mean shit. No matter how ugly a game looks, no matter how good a game looks, the only thing that matters is you win the game. At one point in time, I looked up, the Bears were kicking the Lions' ass. Then all of a sudden, the Lions won the game. So it's like, yeah, Justin Fields has made all these plays the last couple of weeks. They've lost the last couple of weeks.
Bills were kicking the Vikings' ass.
Kicking their ass, up 10 points, driving in, and then it all flipped 10 minutes to go. The only thing that matters is winning and losing. So we can nitpick, and we will dive into this because I think when you're a good team, like if we were doing a Chiefs podcast, they're kind of rolling now, but you would individually talk about things like they need to work on this. It's all about like, can you win playoff games? And that's now that the Niners are head above water and somehow, above 500, because for a split second, I would say my confidence level was ebbing and flowing throughout this night. There was a point in time where I wouldn't say I was resigned they were going to lose, but I was like, well, if they do lose and they're 4-5, right? Would that have been their record?
Yeah.
They're 4-5. I was like, well, they were 4-5 last year. That's how I justified it in my head. But that's not a good place to be.
No.
And win this game, you get to 5-4. You now get Monday night in Mexico against probably Colt McCoy and just a terrible body. Even when that team wins, that body language. I mean, Kyler, can you just smile on the sideline for the love of God? He is just a mopey guy. But like you have a very good chance to get a little redemption with either a banged up Kyler or Colt McCoy, that you've put yourself in a position now to kind of get rolling. And they showed right at the end of the game before I pressed power to hop on with you, they had the list of the Niners' upcoming opponents. Like a lot of their records aren't good. Like you said, like that's part of the NFL. But I mean, when you see the Saints record, right? When you see the Commanders record, who's probably going to lose tomorrow, the Raiders. I mean, they got some teams that, and I do think when
the Raiders aren't part of the group, John. They're the second worst record in the NFL.
True, but I think when we look at the
TJ Stroud right now,
when we look at the Cardinals, like they got Ertz was carted off today. Like that's a team that,
yeah,
I haven't seen the spread, but the Niners are going to be favored in that game it's technically a Cardinals home game, but it's a neutral site. I mean, I would imagine the 49ers have more fans. But my point is, like, be one thing, like, well, you're favored against the Cardinals and you're 4-5. Like, you're 5-4, you win that game, you're 6-4. All of a sudden, it feels like you got some momentum. Now, you got to figure some things out. And I guess one way I would justify would be the wrong way to put it. Coming off a bye, still, integrating some new people, missing some, defensive players kind of coming in and out. Wasn't pretty. You are playing a quarterback that I know, Kyle Shanahan would give anything to have on his team. So would a lot of teams, right? I don't see how you watch that guy and go like, that guy's not really good. I mean, who's he playing with right now?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of nobodies relative to who he's supposed to be playing with. No, he's fantastic. I think like on the 50,000 feet, it was a good day for the 49ers too, because Seattle lost early in Germany to Tampa. And so now they're 6-4 and the Niners are 5-4. And obviously they've beaten them head to head. So
Rams died today.
Rams died. Yeah. Rams lost to the Cardinals. They're 3-6. Arizona's 4-6. So
you see Kupp kind of had to be carried to the bench.
Yeah. I think the initial reports that I read this afternoon on Twitter were that they, were that it may not be as bad as they thought, but
I saw a headline said McVay, it didn't look good. So
yeah. I mean, they're 3-6 and, Stafford didn't play and I don't think the funny thing today was not before Seattle played, but at some point, maybe it was yesterday, that Seattle's talking extension with Geno contract, which, okay, whatever. But
I don't think it's crazy if you do like 3 for 60, guarantee 40, right? What else what are your other options, guy?
Yeah. I mean, you're not in a position to draft a guy at this point, but you've played 10 games. Let's just Long way to go.
Deshaun Watson was a first overall a first round pick. I just mean if you can get him, I'm not paying him like $80 million, but if you get him for guarantee him $25 million, you'd pay him to be a bridge
you're right. The odds are you're not going to upgrade this offseason, but
plus you can still draft a guy if you feel necessary.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed Denver lost again.
I did notice that Denver lost again.
But they're still not in last place in their division. You notice that?
I also noticed that. John, again, there's a lot of three. They have 3 wins. There's a lot of teams with 3. There's only one team in the NFL with 2. There's only one team in the NFL with 1. The Raiders have 2. The Texans have 1.
Kind of crazy the Niners and the Chargers have the same record. But, I mean, that's what happened. The Chargers did come in at 5-3. So if they would have won this game, they would have been in pretty good shape. Now they play the Chiefs. Yeah. I guess they get the Chiefs at home, right? Because they played Kansas City, whatever, second night
now. But, I mean, now they lose that game, they're 5-5. But whatever. The AFC is – they're probably still a playoff team unless the fighting Colts.
Chargers Chiefs Sunday night next week?
Yeah, because I think they got flexed into it. I think it's what Tarico was saying. Isn't that next Sunday?
Oh yeah, I guess we're in week 11 next week, right?
I saw one of the Mike Reese, ESPN, tweeted today. He's like, Raiders have they have a late season Sunday night game. I don't remember who it is. He's like, you gotta wonder. It's Raiders Patriots, week 15.
Oh yeah, because he's a Patriot guy. If they're gonna get booted out of that.
He's like, you got to wonder if that game's going to get flexed. I was like, Mike, no, you don't. You don't have to wonder. It's getting flexed.
Adios.